everybody. Welcome to 2 Minutes and Beyond, the podcast where we review the Toy Story movies 2 minutes at a time. I'm Macy, and this is Bianca.
Hello.
Hello. In this episode, we're talking about minutes 31 and 32 of Toy Story, and I'm so excited to talk about this scene.
I'm excited too. This is one of my favorite scenes leading up to my most favorite scene.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't get to talk about the best part of this scene yet. We don't get to talk about that for, I guess, a week.
Yeah.
But this part is really good too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, do we just want to start?
Yeah, let's just dive right in.
Okay. These 2 minutes start off with Rex finishing his line from the last clip saying, "There aren't any more, that's the whole barrel." Rex throws the empty monkey barrel aside, walks up to the edge of the window and yells, "Buzz, the monkeys aren't working. We're formulating another plan. Stay calm." Slinky starts to pull the monkeys back up and Rex says, "Where could he be?" I was thinking about this and I remembered beginning of Toy Story 4
Mm-hmm.
when they do their Operation Pull Toy
Oh yeah.
thing, and I was wondering if maybe this was where the idea for that started.
Probably.
Using the monkeys, and then they realize it's not long enough, so they add Slinky to it.
Probably. Also, I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't they know how many monkeys are in the barrel and just kind of figure that's not enough?
I mean, I think we've seen that these toys aren't always the brightest.
They're not. I mean, and I'll give it to
Especially
them. They're
Rex.
toys. Rex. Yeah, I love Rex. I also love when Rex is all like, "Buzz, the monkeys aren't working." You see Lenny just shake his little head no. And then he's like, "We're formulating another plan." And he shakes his little head yes.
Yes.
You're so cute, Lenny. I love you.
So I guess they couldn't go outside and look for Buzz because maybe the door was locked. But now that I think about it, there was something I forgot to mention in the last episode.
Okay.
And that's that when Andy leaves the house, he doesn't lock the door.
Oh gosh, that's
anything.
right. He just closes the door. Unless it's one of the ones that you twist the lock and close it. So it's locked.
Maybe he locked it from the inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, I guess the toys can't just go out to the yard to look for Buzz.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they'd see the door, the neighbors would see the door opening and seeing tiny little toys come out. I would call the cops.
Well, they don't see the toys looking out the window and lowering the monkeys down there.
That's
so I don't know.
True, man. These neighbors are not vigilant. I would not want to live in this neighborhood because my house will get robbed.
And Rex is yelling, "Stay calm, Buzz. We're formulating another plan." Nobody hears him.
I know. Man, what's up with these neighbors? Maybe they've just learned to not give a care because Sid is crazy.
I don't know. I mean, they probably all have, they probably all got toys in their house too doing the same stuff, so.
Probably, man. Living in Toy Story universe, I don't even want to know how that is for an adult. It's terrifying, for sure.
Do you think that people in the Toy Story universe believe in ghosts more because they see things moving around in places where they shouldn't be?
I know, I sure would. Shoot, I'd be all like, you know what? My house is haunted. I'm moving, like Andy's family. I move, the same stuff happens, and I'm just like, oh, the ghost followed me.
And why didn't they find at least go downstairs and find a window? Well, maybe there's not a window
I
down
feel
there.
like maybe they'd use the doggy door.
They don't have a dog
no,
yet.
They don't have the dog yet.
I mean, there might still be a doggy door, but I don't know if there's. Maybe they can't. Maybe the downstairs windows are locked or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, you would think that they'd figure out a way after the years that they've been there. I don't know.
I just feel like they would have tried to. They should have tried to think of a more efficient way or a better way to get Buzz They could have gone to
Or
they could have
maybe
gone to a downstairs window assuming it wasn't locked, and maybe I mean, the monkey still wouldn't have been long enough, but
the monkeys would not have. I feel like maybe they rely on Woody a lot for their plans,
Woody
and
has
now that
all
he's
the
public enemy
Woody
number
has all the
one,
brain cells.
yes, Woody is the sole keeper of the one brain cell between
But
all
then
of
that makes me
them.
wonder, I mean, Beau was part of this plan too, like, she's the one holding the monkeys on her crook, and she's smart.
Exactly. So she should have at least been like, okay, guys, here's the plan, but I guess not. Maybe because they're all distraught that Buzz fell, so they're like, oh gosh, we gotta come up with something quick, and they're adrenaline rushing. Do toys have adrenaline?
It seems like it.
I feel like they do have a whole, body system going on. I don't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that they have adrenaline rushes.
Maybe Beau was just kinda, like, just playing along with them, even though she knew it wouldn't work, or she's just like, "I don't know what else to try," maybe.
Exactly. She's like, "Don't look at me. I just take care of sheep." So she she decided to help that way. I don't know.
I don't know. We spent a lot of this
Gosh darn
podcast
it,
just
man.
wondering about Beau.
Speculating.
Well, specifically speculating about Beau.
This is true. I mean, cuz we got to have some type of content for
I mean, she's
her.
got her own movie now, but as far as this movie,
Back in the day,
I wanna know what she's thinking.
exactly. I want to know everything that led up to Toy Story
Mhm.
4 besides the montage that they give us in Toy Story 4 and like all the flashbacks and everything.
Yeah. Well, that was our weekly talk about Toy Story 4. We were
See you
just
next
talking about
time.
I can't remember if it was in our last episode or if it was when we weren't recording, but we were just talking about how we for some reason, we talk about Toy Story 4 in every single episode almost.
We do. I think it was. I don't know if you're going to edit it out or just leave it in there, but I do think we talked while we were recording.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we literally just recorded it, so who knows if it was edited out or not. At 11 seconds, in the next shot, we see a rotating gas station sign with a picture of a dinosaur and the word Dinoco on it. Andy's mom's van pulls into the gas station, and Andy asks if he can help pump the gas. Mom says, "Yeah, I'll even let you drive." And Andy says, "Yeah." And mom says, "Yeah, when you're 16." And they both laugh as they leave the car. That's pretty cute.
I like Andy's laugh. He sounds funny.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
I think the relationship between Andy and his mom is so cute.
I do like that. I like that they're both like she's a single mom, so she has to take care of her kids, but she's not just like ordering him around or
Mhm.
anything. She's actually trying to have fun with
They
him.
seem like they have a good relationship.
Yeah, I do like that. That's really cute.
Mhm. I like the Dinoco logo, and it's in
I
the
do
shape of the egg,
too.
of a dinosaur egg,
Yes, it's really cute.
and they also used Dinoco in the Cars movies too.
Oh, that's right. They
Yeah,
did. I like
that's
that.
the team the Dinoco team is the one that's what's his name? The old blue race car Strip. Is that his name? Strip Weathers?
Something. I haven't seen Cars in such a long time.
I haven't either, and frankly, I'm surprised I remembered that name. But
I also
I know too
like
much about cars. About the Cars,
oh
the
gosh.
movies, not actual cars. I know nothing about actual cars.
I like that they use the dinosaur though to kind of make it like the Sinclair gas stations with the
Yeah.
dinosaur. I think that's really cute to make it like, oh yeah, it's kind of similar to our real life universe, but it's their version of
Yeah,
it.
and then Dinoco kinda sounds like Conoco.
Yeah. That's really cute. I remember going, I was visiting my friend in Minnesota, and we drove by a Sinclair, and the dinosaur statue that they had outside was dressed in a little luau outfit. He had his little lei, and they put a grass skirt around the dinosaur.
That's funny.
It was great.
Oh, I was very confused why they just straight up went inside 'cause as a person who always pays at the pump and only goes inside gas station convenience stores to, like, get snacks or go to the restroom, I was like, "Why are they going inside?" And then I realized this is 1995 and pay at the
Yeah.
pump wasn't, like, in every store yet.
Right, they actually had to go in, and that's what I thought too. At first, I was all like, "They're right there, pumping the gas the entire time, paying there," and then I remembered, "Oh, yeah,
But
1995."
then when they get back in the car, you never see them actually pump the gas. They go inside and pay for it,
That's true.
and they don't actually pump any gas.
They're just like, "Here, take our money, we actually have a full tank." Oh my gosh, now that I think about it, that's true. They get out. Also, why did they leave their car door open?
That too. Andy
Also, did
left
they
his
take
door
the
open.
baby?
I assume they
I know.
did.
I hope so. And then they leave so fast because Andy gets in the car. And the mom, if she has the baby,
She didn't
you
take
have to
the
put the
time
baby
to
back
strap
in.
her in.
And then Andy just runs in, and the car is pretty much already on. And I don't know. That's a little sus.
But I'm like, when did they never got their gas, and I had never thought about that or noticed it until watching this clip for this episode.
Watching the clip, I know. Hmm. Either that or
Or they just
mom.
well, maybe they just went inside. Well, they're going to go eat, so they're probably not getting snacks or anything. And I'm assuming that it's like a short drive to Pizza Planet, so I don't know why they would need to use the gas station bathroom.
I know. Maybe it was like the mom pumping the gas, but she made Andy go pay.
But then she would
But
be
then the
there
mom,
while they're, like, fighting,
I know, and she'd hear them in the back
and
seat having a
you would
conversation.
probably see her. I don't know. It doesn't make any
Hmm.
sense. Like a lot of
It's like
things in
they
this
just
movie,
vaporized for a second and then they came back and then they're like, okay, that's how you get gas, and they leave.
they're like, we're just leaving the car for a few minutes so Woody and Buzz can fight, and then we'll be back.
I know. Maybe they know that they're alive and they're like, okay, these toys are having a little spat. Let's just leave them be. And then they come back and they're like, okay, toys, time to leave.
Also, how I just thought about this, how when they got out of the car, how did they not notice Buzz on top?
Exactly. Buzz was on top of the car and they had their. Okay, so there's so many things going on. The door is open. The baby's potentially still inside the car because they never took her out.
I think they
The
probably took her
sunroof
out.
is up.
Yeah, the sunroof is open too. They're just asking
And
for their
then,
car to get stolen at this point.
exactly, I'm like, did you leave the keys in the car too? Because as soon as Andy jumps in, it drives off. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Maybe mom was doing a drug deal. We don't know.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
my gosh, what if that was happening and she's like, "Andy, get your sister. You have to go in the store." And she goes and does a drug deal.
That's how they're able to how she's as like a single mom able to afford their nice house that they have at
This
the
is
end of the
true.
movie.
She's probably like a plug, and that's why she's like, "Okay, we're going to Pizza Planet, but also secretly I gotta go run an errand."
Maybe that was why she suggested going to Pizza Planet.
Probably. She just got paid and she's all like, "Hey." Go buy
Or
some
because
food.
she needed an excuse to get out of the house to go do this drug deal.
Oh, true. Oh gosh, this mom, we've turned her into a
We
plug.
were just talking about how much we liked her.
I know, and then we're just like, and she's resorted to drugs.
Oh, man.
Oh gosh. This is why you keep me on the podcast.
Well, anyway, at 28 seconds, Woody waits until they've left the car to come to life, then puts his hand over his forehead and says, "Oh, great. How am I going to convince those guys it was an accident?" He stares up at the open sunroof above him, and Buzz suddenly appears over the side. Surprised, Woody exclaims, "Buzz!" and Buzz lets himself fall into the car. Woody sits up and yells, "Buzz, ha, you're alive!" But Buzz just stares at him angrily with a smashed fly on his helmet. Woody says, I'm saved, Andy'll find you here, he'll take us back to the room, and then you can tell everyone that it was all just a big mistake." He pulls the fly away and wipes the gunk off of Buzz's helmet with his sleeve. He gives a fake smile and he says, "Huh, right, buddy?" But Buzz isn't having any of it. He says, "I just want you to know that even though you tried to terminate me, revenge is not an idea we promote on my planet." Woody says, "Oh, well, that's good." Buzz leans in and says, "But we're not on my planet." And then he pulls Woody's head against his helmet and says, "Are we?" And Woody responds with, "No."
I love how Buzz is just so done with Woody at this point.
I mean, I don't blame him. Woody's been
He's
treating him like
finally
crap for
realizing,
days.
yes, he's finally realizing, like, okay, this guy's a jerk.
And he pushed him, I mean, accident or not, he pushed him out the window.
That is a pretty big accident, though. I mean, like, if it was just an accident, that's a pretty bad
Well, and I
accident.
mean, he was still trying to get him behind the desk, which isn't great either.
He had malicious intent, in other
Mhm.
words, so it wasn't like a complete accident, like, oh, I tripped and fell on RC's thing and it just went, but
And going back to what we talked about at the end of the last episode about, how the toys thought Buzz might be dead, even Buzz says, "You tried to terminate me."
I know, he thinks that he almost died too.
I mean,
I'm
with
starting to
Buzz, it
think that
makes
maybe
more
they,
sense because he thinks he's a human.
yeah, I think that they might think maybe because of their small size, something that dramatic is very dangerous. I mean, it is dangerous, but life threatening, maybe.
And I mean, for some toys, that would be really bad. Like if Beau fell from a high, like a
Oh
window or
yeah, for
something like
sure.
that.
She would be ended immediately. Even if she fell off the desk, that wouldn't be good for
Yeah.
her. So I can see how toys would be like, oh yeah, no, that's dangerous.
Mhm. I like the way that Buzz is so graceful when he falls from the sunroof. He, like, does a
I know
flip,
he just kind of does a little flip and he's like, ah.
and the music is like, da 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 da.
I know. I'm like, dang. When did you become Sailor Moon? It's gracefully floating.
So that fly has always bothered me just because it's just gross.
It's rather large,
I mean,
even for a toy. Like, from a human perspective, that's a pretty big bug.
I've seen some pretty big flies before, so
Ugh, horseflies are disgusting. I, one time, not to be gross, you can edit this out. When I was in art class, there was a horsefly flying around bothering me and my friend. And we were like, okay, we got to kill this bug. So here I am with my giant newsprint paper. And as soon as it lands on her bag. I smash it as hard as I could. And of course, she just has a smashed bug on her bag. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Like, Woody, he wipes off the gunk with his sleeve, but, like, for him, his sleeve is just his arm. Like, that's just gonna
That's
be on
always
him.
bothered me.
That's
Yes.
gross.
That has always bothered me even since I was 5 because that is like you said, his arm, but also he's fabric. So that's going to sink into the fabric and he's just going to have gross bug juice on his arm.
Man, I would not want to be a fabric toy and, like, just be like, absorb all of the all of the gross things around me.
Exactly, especially if you're like a beloved teddy bear and the kid has a cold and they're coughing and sneezing
Oh, man.
and you're there being their comfort item, you're just like, "I wanna go into the washing machine now."
And Woody, he can probably only be spot cleaned because 'cause he's got his voice box inside,
Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal for him to go into the washing
and I
machine.
don't know with
I
his
feel like
plastic
also because
parts
he's a
either.
yeah, also because he's vintage,
Yeah,
I feel like that's not
that would
good.
just that would just make his seams more it would make his thread more bare, I guess. His thread
Yeah,
thin
like
out,
frayed
yeah.
and stuff. Not good for a toy like him.
Mm-mm.
Also, what bothers me, instead of talking about Toy Story 4, going to Toy Story 3, and you can
Oh,
edit this out as
I think
well.
I know what you're gonna say.
When they wash themselves with the water hose, it
Yes.
makes me so mad.
They're spraying water all over Buzz, who has, like, electronic components.
Exactly. And it's not gonna wash off the trash that they were just in. It's
Or all
just
the
making the
germs.
trash yes, it's just making it gooey on them. I'm like, "That's disgusting. Y'all should have been
And
incinerated."
oh gosh. And, like, all that water is not gonna completely dry right, it's just gonna get into all of his little nooks and crannies.
Exactly. And they're getting all just soggy. And then, like, Slink, he's gonna get rusty. I
I
don't
don't
like
like
that.
thinking about that. Let's move on.
Anyways, moving on.
I like Woody trying to suddenly act like they're best buddies or something. He's like, "Right, buddy," and he does that fake smile
Yeah, he's I know
because he can tell
some
Buzz is
people
mad
like
at
that.
him.
Yes, and I know some people like that where they treat you like dirt and then as soon as something is not in their favor and they're gonna get in trouble, that's when they're like, "Oh, we're friends, right?" I'm like, "No, we're not."
He's like
I feel like Buzz.
he's like, "Yeah, I need you so that when we get back to the room, all the toys will believe me that it was an accident."
Exactly. And it's like, no, because you've been treating him like absolute garbage since he came out of the package. Of course he's not gonna go with you.
Yeah, and, um, the way when Buzz pulls him up against his helmet and he's like, "But we're not on my planet, are we?" And then Woody just, like, looks to the side and he says, "No," almost like, "Yeah, I guess we're not." You're right.
Oh my gosh. He's like, you got a point there.
That's so funny.
Oh gosh. Also, this whole thing is happening with the door wide
I
open.
know.
If another driver were to go on the other side, if it's one of those pumps that has two on each side,
Yeah.
they'd be able to see and hear this conversation.
Also, can, like, the people inside the convenience store not, like, look out? I don't know I don't know if there's, like, big windows inside that store, but can they not look out and see? I'm gonna have to look and see what kind
Exactly.
of windows that store has. Oh, yeah, it's got some windows.
I feel like most convenience stores have
Not
large windows.
well, I mean, all I can see through the windows is, like, some shelves with stuff on them, so maybe it's not,
Okay,
like, where
so they
someone
just
would
have stuff up
see,
against.
because it
Mhm.
looks like the gas pumps are on, like, the side of the building, and then the convenience store, uh, like, the door to it would be on the front,
Okay.
maybe?
I don't know.
Because I don't see a door on the front of the Dinoco store. Mm.
That's so weird though, because usually,
Oh, wait, now
well,
I'm looking at a different shot. Now I can see the door. Okay, so that is the gas pumps are the front of the store. Never mind.
okay.
That makes more sense. But I don't know how
I,
people inside can't see what's going on.
I feel like they probably would be able to see, especially if you're walking by and you just glance over. Well, maybe not if you glance over because you're just looking at the pumps.
I mean, yeah, but, like, what about the employees who are just standing there working the cash register or whatever and just, like, looking out the window because they
Yeah.
don't have.
Wondering when their shift will
Yeah.
end.
I don't know.
They'd probably see it. I know for sure that when I was sitting by a window at work, I was staring outside all the time and I saw so many things happen. Like crazy things too. Like I'd see because where I work at the doctor's office right across the street is the hospital, and that's where the emergency room was. So you can imagine all the crazy stuff I saw at the emergency
Oh,
room.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, moving on. At 110, Buzz tackles Woody and they fall out of the car and onto the ground. Buzz slams Woody into the pavement several times, but Woody manages to push him over and they roll under the car. Buzz kicks Woody into one of the car's tires. Woody gets up and says, "Okay, come on. You want a piece of me?" But Buzz punches him in the face, causing his head to spin around. Woody stops his head from spinning and tackles Buzz, opens his helmet, and starts punching him in the face. Buzz closes his helmet on Woody's hand, and Woody screams and starts hitting Buzz in the chest instead. Buzz grabs Woody's neck and pins him to the ground, pulls his arms backwards, and puts his foot on his chest. Then they're interrupted when Andy, Molly, and Mom get back to the car. Woody gasps and says, "Andy," and they watch in horror as the van drives away to Pizza Planet. There's a lot to talk about in that bit.
There's a whole scene going on right here.
Yeah.
First of all, let's talk about the whole Buzz is squeaky thing because this is the main focus of everything. Buzz is squeaky.
And why does his head squeak like that?
I feel like that was
Just for
maybe
comedic effect, I guess.
for comedic effect because why would a toy be squeaky like that? He's supposed to be some big ol' like action hero and then action hero squeaky.
Yeah, it's not like his head is like a soft plastic, I don't think. Unless it's like, Woody's head always looks like hard plastic, but then Toy Story 4, Dad steps on his head and his head deforms.
That's true. Maybe they're like plastic, but like rubber duck plastic, like vinyl.
I mean, I feel like Woody is made out of his plastic parts are actually vinyl, but I feel like it should be hard enough that his head shouldn't be able to squeeze that much. Because the
Yeah,
bowling
I
ball
feel like
falls on his head later in the movie, and it doesn't do anything to his head.
that's true.
But anyway, back to
Hmm.
Buzz's head. I don't know why Buzz's head would be squeaky like that other than just to be funny. But I feel like all of the sound effects in this part are either very funny or very violent.
I know that punch that Buzz throws.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang.
like the sound designer really went like over the top with this one, like in a good way, I think. It just like really stands out.
It is interesting because some of it is supposed to be like, oh, how cute little toys are fighting. And then I guess from their perspective, it's more dangerous. Kind of like when you see like in shows or cartoons where you see um like little ants or something fighting, and from our perspective, you don't hear anything, but then you go back to their perspective and it's like this big old like war going on and stuff.
Yeah. I think my favorite sound, though, is when they're rolling under the car and all of Buzz's buttons on his chest are being pushed.
Oh yeah, that's pretty great. That's like one of the most sounds ever. I'm like, okay, Andy should have heard that. I mean, I understand they're at the store right
Someone
now.
should
They're
have heard
probably
that.
someone should have heard it. I mean, you would think that there's other people. They're not the only people getting gas right now.
Someone should have heard Woody screaming when Buzz kicks him into the tire.
Exactly. They should have heard so many things. They should have heard the conversation that they were having. They should have heard them fall to the ground. They should have heard all the buttons, Buzz's squeaky head, Woody's squeaky
They
yelling.
should have heard one of my favorite sounds when Woody is hitting Buzz in the chest and he goes, "Buzz, Buzz, 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 Lightyear to the
Oh,
rescue."
yeah. That for sure, because you know that toys in the 90s were obnoxiously loud.
Mhm.
I think even still, toys are pretty obnoxiously loud.
Yeah. Like, I think Furbies are loud.
Oh gosh. Furbies were like violently
I
loud.
hate
Like,
Furbies,
man,
not just because they're loud, but also because 'cause they're terrifying.
Furbies were not my favorite. I feel like out of the whole craze, I too was terrified of them, but not because of the way they looked. I was not even bothered by that. I was bothered by the fact that people were saying that they would talk at night.
Yeah.
That was terrifying to me. I was like, nope, I don't want anything to do with these dudes.
I was just scared of any toys that moved and talked, funnily enough, despite loving Toy Story. I
I
didn't like
know. For
animatronic
me too.
toys.
I was not a fan of toys like that, although oddly enough, I super loved my Toby the Terrier plush. It was a plush that would react to the videotapes that you would watch with it.
Like,
Kind of like a Teddy Ruxpin,
yeah, that's what I was trying to find the
except
name.
yes, except he was a whole lot cuter than Teddy Ruxpin. He was a little terrier dog in his little bomber jacket.
Oh,
And on his collar was the sensor. So whenever you had him in front of the TV, there was certain lines that would um, get him to talk or react, or certain
yeah.
scenes that would get him to talk and react. So that was fun.
I wanted to talk about Woody's head spinning around when Buzz punches him and how disturbing it is.
It is. I never liked that in the movies. When I first saw it as a child, I was like, oh no, I don't like that at all.
And when at the end, when they're trying to scare Sid and he turns his head around all the way, it never creeped me out nearly as much as this does. Mainly because in that case, he's doing it on purpose, I think.
I think so.
I feel like
And
that somehow makes it less creepy, at least to watch. But then, like, this just spinning around and around is really it's uncomfortable and kind of disturbing to watch.
I feel like that's not supposed to be for a toy. Like, you're not supposed to just freely have your head spin.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, like in the end, it's not as terrifying. I mean, yeah, for sure. If I were to see that in real life, like I'm playing with a toy and it just starts turning its head, I'm like, oh, time to exercise you.
You know what's funny though that I'm thinking about it is that Woody at any time has the ability to turn his head around all the way. You would think he would maybe do it more, but like why other than just having it not look creepy for us the audience, like why wouldn't he just like turn his head completely around to look at something?
I
Is
know.
it like maybe it's uncomfortable for him? I don't know.
Or maybe he realizes that it's creepy, so he doesn't do it.
But then you would think the other toys wouldn't care because they're just like, yeah, we're all toys. A lot of us can move our heads around.
Maybe. I don't
Like
know.
Rex can probably move his head all the way around.
I
Buzz,
think he
maybe.
does at one point. I don't remember which movie,
Maybe. Oh, yeah. I don't know when it is either.
but I'm pretty
But
sure
I
I've
think he
seen him with
does.
his head backwards.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Whatever it was, I don't like it in this scene. It's creepy. Also, Woody screaming ow when Buzz closes his helmet on his hand is another thing to add to the conversation about whether toys feel pain to bring up something we haven't talked about in a while, I feel like.
I know. I feel like with his hands being plastic, he should not feel that much pain. And also, if that's painful, how does he feel about the bowling ball falling on his head?
That's true. Also,
Also,
how does
when the
Buzz's helmet
toolbox
close
falls on
that
him.
hard? Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, for
But
real.
also,
Like,
how does there's no way Buzz's helmet closes that hard.
exactly,
That
because
would
that
be
would be
dangerous for children.
exactly. That would be a recall for him. Which wasn't that supposed to be, I'm going off on a tangent again, I'm sorry. But wasn't that supposed to be the plot for Toy Story 3? Was it Toy Story
Yeah,
3?
Toy Story 3 and the original version that Disney was maybe gonna make on their own without Pixar being involved.
Mm-hmm.
But
They
that's
were
a
gonna
whole
ship him
other
back to
story.
Taiwan or something.
Yeah, and they were gonna have to go save him.
Which was
But
ridiculous.
that's a whole other thing.
That yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that a little bit later because that
I figure we'll talk about that when we get to Toy Story 3 in a couple of years.
yeah, I know. We're gonna be here for a while.
Yep.
Which gives us something to do.
I think it's funny too that Buzz and Woody fight before they become friends, and then in Toy Story 2, Woody gets into a fight with Jessie before they become friends.
I know, is that just like a rite of passage for toys? Like you have to duke it out before you become friends?
Or specifically with Woody.
Yeah,
This
specifically with Woody. I mean, I
if
feel like he just likes fighting.
he's not very good at it.
He's not. And then you think about it, and like the Toy Story short, the toys that time forgot, they were gonna battle against the battle swords or whatever they were called.
Woody's a complete wimp in that.
He is, and his
He just
weapon
hides
of
behind
choice is
Buzz,
always like a
the
crayon. I'm
crayon.
like, why? Why?
But I noticed too the pose that Buzz puts Woody into right before the car drives off, where he's got like his foot in his back and he's like pulling his arms back. That's the same pose that Jessie does on Woody in Toy Story 2 before the prospector breaks them up.
That's great. That's just everybody knows that that's the submissive pose for Woody.
It's just funny that his two best friends, he got into a fight with both of them
I know
before they
it's
became friends.
I mean, that's just how it rolls when you're friends with Woody.
Also, Woody is not good at defending himself.
He's not. He's literally when Sid describes him as a wimpy cowboy doll, that is exactly what he is. He's a wimpy cowboy doll.
And I mean, he says to Buzz, "You want a piece of me?" And then Buzz immediately punches him in the face.
And I want to say that that's like every person that can't defend themselves. They talk a talk and they act tough, but as soon as push comes to shove, they get beat up.
Yeah, I feel like Buzz and probably Jesse too are both a lot stronger than Woody is. Like I'm no, and Woody too tries to fight Jesse in Toy Story 2 with only one arm. I'm like, what are you? How do you think you're gonna win this?
Exactly. You're not strong to begin with. And then you're handicapped now because they took off your arm.
Oh gosh,
Oh gosh. He needs help.
he is a mess.
Woody
Frankly,
needs an intervention is what he needs.
he needs anchor management. He needs an intervention.
He needs therapy.
Don't we all?
Yes, for sure.
Anyway, at 1 minute 44 seconds, Woody runs after the van for a few steps before stopping and wondering, doesn't he realize I'm not there? He gasps and he covers his mouth in shock and exclaims, I'm lost! I'm a lost toy! And falls to the ground crying. We see a shot from above the gas station and then a shot of Buzz in front of the gas pump as he's opening his wrist communicator, and then the clip ends there. In the background, one of the buildings you can see that's, like, across the street from the gas station is, I assume it says virtual realty on it, so I assume it's the virtual realty offices.
Oh, probably from their house.
Yeah,
That's funny. I like that they threw that in there instead
yeah,
of just making a generic building or something.
yeah, I'd never seen that before.
That's really cute.
I like that shot that's, like, from way above the gas station
Mhm.
at the end, the second to last shot in this clip. I really like that shot because you can see just how tiny Buzz and Woody are down there.
Yeah, it gives you a perspective like, okay, they're small.
They're just like little bitty toys.
I know. Oh my gosh, just thinking about it like sometimes I look at my dog. He's like a little chihuahua mutt mix. I don't know what he is. I call him a mutt. And I look at him sometimes and he's way down there at my feet. And I'm like, you probably think I'm like some sort of giant or something. He just looks at me and wags his little tail. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so tiny.
I feel like it's easy to forget sometimes how small the toys are just because we're seeing most of the movie from their perspective.
Right. Yeah.
But like Woody's only like 16 inches, I think, tall, something
Hmm.
like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So they're like the very
Yeah.
standard, action figure size.
I think my signature collection Woody is about 16 inches. Just looking at him, I would guess.
Right. Yeah. He's definitely taller than a Barbie doll, which is, I want to say 12 inches tall, 11 or 12 inches.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I noticed in the shot of Buzz in front of the gas pump that the gas price is $1.29, and I'm like, "Oh, man.
I miss those prices.
Can we go back to that, please?" I think it was like 280 something the other day
Oh gosh,
here.
I just put gas in my car and it was 301.
Mm.
So it's not fun. I was at a quarter tank. I put $30 in and it didn't even put it all the way to the F. I was like, "Man, I'm not going to drive anywhere."
One last thing, at least I think it's my last thing. Can we talk about Woody's character growth going from, in this scene, being terrified and, like, crying over being a lost toy to the end of Toy Story 4, where he chooses to be a lost toy. Spoiler alert.
I do, yeah, I like the growth because in the first movie you see that he's very self-centered. He only cares about him being Andy's favorite toy, and he'll pretty much do anything to stay at that spot. He's very comfortable and complacent. He doesn't want to change, and he doesn't like anybody to try to like disrupt or change that. And then at the end of the movie, in Toy Story 4, you see how he's like, oh, well, I'm selfless. Now, like, he's willing to, another spoiler alert, give up his voice box. And,
I feel like anyone who's listening to this podcast has probably seen Toy Story 4.
I should hope so. If you have not, I apologize for ruining everything for you.
Sorry, I interrupted. What were you saying?
Oh, but yeah, he's like selfless and he cares about, everybody, but then he's willing to go and be a lost toy.
Yeah, when like before that was one of his greatest fears. It seems like.
Exactly.
I just love his character growth over the 4 movies.
I know. As much as I love the character growth, I still like love the sassiness and the rudeness of Toy Story 1 Woody.
Yes.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, I do too. Well, that's all I have about this.
That's all I have too.
I'm really excited to talk about the next clip,
scene,
but we
yes.
don't get to do that for a week or so.
Yes, but I am very excited about it.
Me too. Should we just go ahead and wrap it up?
I say yes.
All right then, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts and send us an email if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns. And if you enjoy the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.